This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, it's no kidding. It's a little slick out there in some spots maybe you think is not. I realized it didn't snow last night, but there's some black ice out there. Some friends from the Yates Flooring Center chat line have chimed in. A little man helping man. Crash on the Brownfield Highway over Upland. Traffic at a standstill on both sides of the highway, so keep that in mind. The Wolfforth overpass over 82nd Street is closed. Travel safely. We talked earlier this morning about the Marcia Sharp and Quaker. It was closed when I came in about an hour ago, but about 45 minutes ago. Anyway, the bottom line is the bridges and overpasses going to be slick, flyovers, things like that. So just if you're out there early this morning, getting to your place of business, your job, your JOB, you can tell the man you're going to be just a little slow this morning because you don't want to wreck the company truck, okay?
Yeah, that'd be smart. Just drive slow.
Yeah, just drive slow.
Just drive slow.
Just be safe.
And maybe don't take the Marshall truck.
Yeah.
Maybe don't take the highways.
Yeah, or the back roads or the side streets. Yeah, all those things.
Don't freeze as quickly.
Sure.
Probably by 9 or 10 o'clock we'll all be good.
Yeah, right. And you're probably just accurate on that, Jamie. We'll have a couple of NFL games on the air for you tomorrow. Steelers and the Ravens. A lot on the line for the Steelers. They're 9-7. Ravens 13-3. They have the 1 seed. Pittsburgh is favored by 3.5 in this game because the Ravens are going to be sitting a lot of people. And we'll have that for you at 3. And then the Texans and the Colts, both teams at 9-7, and both teams with lots to play for that. So here's the playoff scenarios for you. For the Houston Texans, they clinched the AFC South title with a win or a Jacksonville loss or tie. They can also clinch a playoff berth with a Houston win or a Houston tie plus Jacksonville loss plus Pittsburgh loss or tie. Basically, for the Houston Texans, win and you're in. And that's a remarkable turnaround.
Man,
for the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
From where they were with the dumpster fire with Deshaun Watson and Romeo Cornell and just everything. It looked like it was just going to take a Herculean effort to get it turned around, and it has. It has been a Herculean effort to get it turned around.
It's amazing what happens when you find a quarterback that you can use in the NFL.
Definitely helps.
Yeah,
but a really good coach too, it appears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's tomorrow. As far as the Pittsburgh Steelers,
did you say Romeo Cornell?
I think he was the coach at the.
Wasn't Lovie Smith there last
Lovie
year?
Smith, yeah. I got those two confused. Mm-hmm. Romeo's probably been retired, but he's been in charge of some dumpster fires, Kansas City, Cleveland, other places. Better assistant than head coach. Mm-hmm. But Lovie Smith, you're right. That's exactly right. Okay, so for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they can clinch a playoff berth. They have to win plus Buffalo lose, or a Pittsburgh win plus a Jacksonville loss or tie, a Pittsburgh win plus a Houston-Indianapolis tie, or a Pittsburgh tie plus a Jacksonville loss plus Houston-Indianapolis doesn't end in a tie, okay? Or a Jacksonville loss plus a Denver win plus a Houston-Indianapolis doesn't end in a tie, okay? Right. The Miami Dolphins clinched the AFC East with a win or a tie. They played the Buffalo Bills Sunday night. How are you feeling about that matchup?
Not good.
Okay. I was listening on my way in this morning to Double T 97.3, Two Pros and a Cup of Joe, and Brady Quinn was saying that the Bills fans, Bills Mafia, was going to take over the Dolphin Stadium there.
I'm sure there's a lot of native New Yorkers living in the Florida area, mm-hmm. and they seem to always flock to that game.
Yeah. The Bills clinched the AFC East with a win. So there you go. Win and you're in. They can
lose, and you're most likely out.
They can clinch a playoff spot.
They're going to go from the possibility from 2 to out.
Yeah. They can clinch a playoff berth with a Buffalo tie or a Pittsburgh loss or tie or Jacksonville loss or tie or a Houston-Indianapolis tie.
I mean, but none of those things are likely, right?
I don't think the ties are very likely. I mean, I wish the NFL would just play to the bitter end.
I mean, do you expect the Steelers to lose when the Steelers are motivated and the Ravens are sitting a bunch of guys and have nothing to play for? I expect the Steelers to win.
Yeah.
Do you expect the Jaguars, who have everything to play for, to lose against the 5-11 Titans? No. Do you expect the Colts and Texans to tie?
No.
So there are three things there that are not likely. So my guesstimation, and yes, probably partially because I'm a bit not bitter, but jaded.
You've used the word jaded.
Scarred Bills fan.
Yeah.
My expectation is if they don't win, they will not make the playoffs. They do not win the division and claim the 2 seed. They will drop all the way to 8, which is outside.
See, let me ask you this, and both of you this, because Jeff has lamented his Cowboy fandom and just lack of success. You, I think, very accurately over the test of time of your lifetime, have described your life as a jaded Bills fan. I feel like that you have more skin being a jaded Bills fan than Jeff being a frustrated Cowboy fan.
I don't know. We both are large individuals, so we both have plenty of skin.
Neither one of us have been to a Super Bowl since '95. He's got a little more because he's got 4 Super Bowl losses, but due to my team.
He's been a Bills fan longer than you've been a Cowboys fan because you abandoned the Oilers when they moved to Tennessee.
I was abandoned. Let's make this clear. Yeah, I was abandoned first.
You feel like an orphan?
So want a piece of that turf from the Super Bowl where they didn't win. So want a piece of that turf. That 1 yard short. I would love a piece of that turf.
Well, I'm sure if you go on eBay, you can find it.
I don't have that much money.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just different. I think Cowboys fans, because of the success that their team has had over the years, have a high level of expectation, and there's real anger there as Cowboy fans. That's kind of that's how I'm taking it. I'm judging, trying to read Cowboy fans. There's a high level of anger there because they knew how great they used to be. They don't love the owner, and so they want to blame him. And so I think Cowboy fans have high expectations, which is a good thing because you've had so much success. I think Bills fans are different. It's not that we're angry with the team or the franchise or whatever. We're just always sad because we know it never works out. That we're not angry like Cowboy fans are. We're sad, and we expect, as I've said before, expect the worst and hope for something a little bit better. We just know.
What do you think, Bills Mafia? Do you think they would be disappointed if they won a Super Bowl? Like, because then they wouldn't have anything to be jaded about anymore.
Of all the dumb questions you've ever asked.
Okay, that question goes up there with is Jamie excited about baseball season?
I was being a little facetious there,
I don't think you were.
Yeah,
I think you were honestly asking that question. And now you've been called out on it.
It's just different. I think Cowboys fans have positive expectations and Bills fans have negative expectations. They're angry with their franchise. We're just sad. We're just Eeyore.
Yeah.
That's what Bills fans are.
Yeah.
We just are woe is me.
Let's see here. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, they clinched the NFC East. All they have to do is beat the Washington Commanders. Game you'll hear on Double T 97.3 Sunday afternoon at 2:30. Play-by-play at 3:25 from our nation's capital. Okay. They can also clinch the NFC East with a Dallas tie plus Philadelphia tie, or just simply a Philadelphia loss. So that's what you have to look forward to this weekend. The Philadelphia Eagles play at the New York Football Giants on Sunday afternoon at the same time, by the way. Okay, so I'm sure the Cowboys won't be scoreboard watching. They'll just be looking at their own deal and going, we have a chance to take care of business here, and let's just take care of business.
They've got a great history of doing that.
6:40 this morning on this morning drive. This day in sports history is next.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is January the 5th, 2023. Here is Jeff McGuire. 2024, excuse me. Sorry.
I was going to have to go rewind and get rid of some of these because we advanced a whole year. 1957, Dodgers' Jackie Robinson announces his retirement rather than being traded to the Giants. We talked about the trade that happened mid-December, I think is when that was. And he said, don't I quit for love of the game. Not actually, but, would have been a good movie. 1971, Globetrotters lose 100-99 to the New Jersey Reds, ending a 2,495 game winning streak.
I think that was a legitimate deal, too. I don't think it was any kind of, publicity stunt.
Yeah, no, they were the way my dad describes the Globetrotters, because they've lost a few times since then. Whenever the Globetrotters lose, sometimes they forget that sometimes they're playing a basketball game and get down too much and can't quite make up the difference.
Just not enough time. They run out of time.
Yeah. Because, let's be honest, the Globetrotters win their basketball games. That's what they do.
The fans are the real winners.
I think it's like 10-minute swings where it's 10 minutes of basketball, 10 minutes of Globetrotterness, 10 minutes of basketball, 10 minutes of Globetrotterness in those games. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes the 10 minutes of basketball gets a little heavy-handed on the one side, that they don't make up for it when they're messing around. 1989, Major League Baseball signs a $400 million deal with ESPN to show 175 games in the 1990 season. You know what you can get for that $400 million now?
What's that?
A designated hitter that can also pitch. 1996, Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula announces his retirement. 2007, the second coach ever for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Bill Cowher, resigns as their head coach.
That was really a surprise. And there was a lot of people that thought that he would eventually get back into it because he was young. His then wife was ill. She would eventually succumb to cancer, and he would go to the NFL Today. And I read today that the NFL Today may have a different look next year because Bill Cowher's contract is expiring. So is James Brown, JB, and your man Phil Simms. I know that you're just thrilled by that.
Could Jamie name one person on any NFL pregame show?
Because I watch them during the halftime sometimes. So
keyword sometimes.
Boomers in there.
Yep.
Who's the
other guy? The guy from the morning show. He played for the Jets. He wears the suits. He wears his suits really tight. Can't remember his name.
Keyshawn Johnson?
No.
Wayne Corbett? No. Yeah, that's
Mark Sanchez.
No, it's not Mark Sanchez.
That's the only guys I can remember on that show. There's a lot of them. And Sunday Night Football feels like they have like 30 or 40
They do, man.
people involved.
They have
when they do their pick'em thing, I'm like, holy cow.
Look at Chris Collinsworth's son.
Yeah.
2010, Mike Shanahan is formally introduced as the head coach of the Washington Redskins.
Nate Burleson is who I was trying to think of.
And in 2021, Texas Tech sophomore Terrence Shannon Jr. scored a season-high 22 points in an 82-71 win over Kansas State.
Yeah. Interesting times for Terrence Shannon.
It is National Whipped Cream Day.
Oh, nice. You like some whipped cream? You like whipped cream, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Top of your hot chocolate? No?
I would be fine with that. I just very, very rarely drink hot chocolate.
Happy birthday, former Red Raider basketball player Zach Smith turns 28 today. Tomorrow, reigning slam dunk champion. That's right, Mac McClung turns 24.
And apparently he's been invited back to that.
It's good.
Today, Bradley Cooper, 49. Diane Keaton, 78. Robert Duvall, 93. Charlie Rose, 82. Warwick Dunn, 49. And Charlie Huff is 76.
Charlie Huff for the knuckleballer. I wonder if he can still throw a knuckleball.
I mean, definite possibility there.
Probably. I mean, that doesn't take as much out of your arm
Right.
as a fastball does,
I
or a breaking ball.
think Charlie's got some grandsons. He's out there teaching them how to hit the knuckleball, and Grandma's like, "Hey, Charlie, let him hit."
He probably can't throw it straight. Probably
Yeah.
can't throw it normal.
Yeah.
And on this day in 1933, construction begins on the Golden Gate Bridge
Oh.
as workers began excavating 3.25 million cubic feet of dirt for the structure's huge anchorages. And that, this day in sports history.
Is the Golden Gate Bridge the one that we heard? I thought it was one of these shows that we heard that they start repainting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when they get to the
It's a
other
constant
end,
repaint.
Yes.
they have to restart again.
Yes.
Well, it takes,
that
I think
long.
it takes 4 years to paint it, and the paint is 4-year paint. So
Yeah.
it's a constant repaint.
4-year paint.
Yeah.
Well, because of all the salt water and everything else that they need to be repainting it. So the paint lasts about 4 years, and it takes 4 years to paint it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just keep going.
No, there's
So you could get a full-time job and
Mac.
work for 40 years as a painter of the
Yeah.
Golden Gate Bridge.
yeah, Mac's on one side and George is on the other side.
I imagine it's more than 2 guys.
Yeah, they got
They have some powers, painters or sprayers, or are we just doing this with the old paintbrush?
Well, it's also a lot of surfaces that have to get painted.
Sure.
you probably got some prep work that takes, there's probably more than one guy named Mac working on that too. Hey, Mac, how you doing?
You want a better one, Jamie? My dad, when he was a mechanic, when he was working at O'Hare, knows guys that their dads started working at O'Hare when it was under construction. When their sons retired, they were still working on the construction at O'Hare Airport.
Goodness.
And I'm willing to bet we could go to O'Hare Airport right now, still under construction.
Seems like they're always doing something in an airport.
Yeah, I agree. It's always they got something happening. Somebody says that bridge is huge, like as wide as Indiana Avenue. Okay. King Craig talks about Charlie Huff smoking between innings. Okay. Probably a lot of that. Used to be some of that in Major League Baseball. Earl Weaver was pretty famous for that. The manager of the Orioles. He would steal a smoke.
Yeah, I think the manager of the Tigers, I'm now
Sparky
forgetting.
Anderson?
Yeah, it seems like he was the guy that I always remember doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 6:54 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. Visual Edge IT hotline continues to be open, too, for your thoughts, comments. Just if you want to call and visit with Jeff, you can, 806-771-0973. Well, there's times when people do that.
There's worse things you could do, but I'm sure you can find something better to do with your time.
Jeff's supposed to be working now, so I'm in.
But you can
chatting.
you can be helpful to folks. They might have a pregunto or two.
Let me be helpful. Be very careful on the roads this morning.
Yes. You'll see a number of...
Exercise caution.
Yeah. The IPTI process is in full effect today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just...
Morning show bingo card.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Basketball Friday presented by Abundance Energy. We're talking Tech in Texas. If you have a prediction on that one that you want to give us, or if you're going to the game or just don't even want to spend any money in Austin, just hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app, presented by Happy State Bank. We'll have the broadcast for you tomorrow night at 6, play-by-play at 7. As the Red Raiders take on, and this is this a kind of a little bit of a early litmus test for you to say, okay, this is who you are, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It'll be a good measuring stick to see because we think
that's a better way.
We may not think the Longhorns are title contenders in the conference, but I think that we feel like they're definitely a tournament team, and they're a team that's going to finish in the top half of the Big 12 conference. But just a road game. We've only played one of those so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
And I think the other thing too is, wouldn't you say, if you won this game, that this would be one that you wouldn't necessarily be expected to win, but by winning this game could certainly add to your resume, obviously. Gives you a road win in the Big 12, which are hard to come by, especially with new coach, new kind of DNA to your team, all those kinds of things right out of the bat to go get yourself a win like this, top 25 team on the road, Big 12 contender, blah blah blah. That'd be a nice thing to put on the old NCAA tournament resume.
Absolutely.
So that would be. And like I said, I mean, I'm just going to guess you're not favored to win this game. I don't necessarily follow the odds, and I don't necessarily always. That's just not in my DNA. I don't have anything against it. It's just not something I look at very much. But my guess is that Texas would be favored to win this game tomorrow night, and that if you won, it would surprise some folks. So hopefully they can. Who aside from the usual suspects, is there somebody that you'd like to see kind of step up and add to the mix tomorrow night?
Well, I definitely feel like Chance McMillan is a big X factor for this team because it feels like he's pretty hot or cold, and when he's going, obviously he's really, really good. Kerwin Walton could probably I think I've said you need one of them every night. One of the two of those guys, because I think Toussaint's gonna get his and do his thing. I think Pop Isaacs is gonna do his thing. I think Darion Williams has been really consistent so far this year, but I think you need one of those guys to provide you that outside scoring, another outside scorer, because you expect Pop and Toussaint's going to knock down some threes, but one of those guys has to come in and contribute on both ends.
If I told you that the leaders for the Red Raiders in threes made, that it was tied, the obvious one you would say right away would be Pop Isaacs, right? But how about this? Chance McMillan also has 28 made threes. He has 32.
He made 8 in one game, so I don't think that would be a super surprise to anybody that he's near the top.
Okay, right. But he has 32 less attempts than Isaacs. So Pop is 28 of 97, 29%. Chance McMillan is 28 of 65 for 43%. And then and that's why when we talked about the other day about which player needed to step up, needed to take it to the next level, even though he's, I don't know, is Pop your leading scorer right now or second to he
Toussaint?
is. He is your leading scorer.
I think it's Pop, and what I mean by that is he's got to be much more efficient. I mean, the 3-point percentage is like 29%.
29%, yes.
Yeah, and the 2-point percentage is in the 30s.
His field goal percentage is 36%.
Yeah. I mean, he's scoring, but you would really like him to be a lot more efficient than he is, or than he has been. Well, I'll say this. The last couple of weeks, it feels like he's done that.
Yes.
The last couple of weeks, he's done that. But that 29% 3-point percentage, you want to see come way up because he's way more talented than that. And
then when you look at Kerwin Walton, he is 20 of 37 from beyond the arc. So he's shooting 54%. Now, his number of field goal attempts, he's 30 of 54. So basically he's 10 of 17 without the threes, and he's averaging 17.6 minutes a game, so almost 18 minutes a game. And Isaacs is at 32 minutes a game. Chance McMillan is at 25 minutes a game. And the other thing about Pop is you'd like to see his free throw percentage get up there just a little bit more. He's at 79% right now. So he's at 46 of 58. Your leading free throw shooter is Joe Toussaint, and that makes sense because he's driving the lane all the time. I mean, every time he's going down the floor, if he's getting in he's scoring in the paint for the most part. But he's put up 18. He's made 18 threes. He's 18 of 55, but he's 52 of 59 from the free throw line. So he's money when he gets to the free throw line. At 88%. I mean, that's that's you can count on him for that. So, and Darion Williams is as well. He's 26 of 30. He's 87% free throw shooter. So, they take care of the basketball. I mean, they get a ton of assists a game. I mean, you're making I don't have the total number of makes per game, but your assists per game are 16. You're making 16 assists per ball game. So, I mean, it's very, very respectable. And Coach McCaslin has talked about that repeatedly, about how he likes how this team shares the basketball. Maybe sometimes to a fault, but I mean, they're looking for the best shot, which is great, and they're giving it up, which is great. Mm-hmm. So just got to find a way to make some more. Is 78 going to be enough to win tomorrow night?
I would think so. Think so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know that I would disagree with you. Let me give you a number here real quick. 347 divided by 13. Yeah, so they're making 26 field goals per ball game, and they have assists on 16 of them. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, the team is. I mean, we've talked about that. That's really what they're doing well. It feels like is spreading the ball around and doing a good job of sharing the basketball.
And they're doing a decent job of rebounding. They're out rebounding their opponents by 5, but I mean, you have to also look at the quality of opponent. I mean, you've given up 134 offensive rebounds to your opponent. You've had 145. So you'd like to make sure that you get some second chance points as well, because you're shooting at a clip of 46%, which is really, I mean, that's outstanding. And then from a 3-point, you're at about 36%, averaging like I said earlier, about 9 a game. So we'll see what happens between the Red Raiders and the Longhorns tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon at the arena, it's Texas Tech and Kansas. Lady Raiders coming off of just an ugly loss to Texas, and it's really the only way to say it, in which they were dominated in that ball game. KU's coming off of a loss at Iowa State, 69-61. They are led in the scoring department by a freshman. Well, yeah, by a freshman. She is averaging 13.5 points a ball game. Her name is Samaya Nichols, and she's mostly an inside shooter. She's about 46% from the field. Ty Jackson, who has only put up 1 3, she is definitely an inside player. She averages 12.8 points a ball game. And then Holly Kurzgeter, who has been a Lady Raider killer, averaging 11.3 points a ball game. She told Fink and I last year when she was here, we're like, is this it for you? Are you done? She's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done after this year. So we were like, okay, good. We'll be glad to see you not be here, basically, is what we were thinking. And
you guys even make friends with the opposing players?
We talk to everybody.
Wait. I need to show you my shock face.
We talk to everybody. Trying to think who we talked to the assistant coaches. We talked to opposing broadcasters. We talked to the officials, like Eric Bruton, the official came. He was smiling, happy to see us, shook our hand. Mm-hmm.
I used to talk to the Big 12
coordinator.
I guess that's who it was.
He's the official's supervisor.
Yeah, the official supervisor guy.
Yeah,
he was
a
cool.
nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was back when we were all sitting on the front row together before they kicked us out.
Right, yeah.
Because we're not cool like that.
We'll have the broadcast for you tomorrow from United Supermarkets Arena at 1:30, the tip at 2.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I had words coming out of my mouth that sounded like Chuck Heinz.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to look at Red Raider football, and we're going to look at next year's schedule. And I know we don't have the specific dates, but we've all stated that we feel like 8 wins should be expected. Okay, with 7 home games, with the schedule that you have and what you have returning. Okay, we're not going to get into do we think it's going to be 10 wins or 9 wins or 8 wins or whatever, but 8 wins should be expected. Okay, we might not even predict 8 wins, but we think it should be expected. Okay.
Yeah, the two are different.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask you today. Tell me the 4, what you think are the 4 games that are most likely could be losses.
Okay.
The ones that scare you the most. 4 games.
unfortunately, I think this is going to be real easy. At Arizona, at Iowa State, at Oklahoma State, and at TCU.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are your 4 losses.
So the 4 road games.
Yeah. In the Big
conference
12.
play.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel really good about your non-conference games, obviously, against Abilene Christian and North Texas, and then going to Pullman doesn't scare me.
Just to be different from Chuck.
Well, you don't have to be different.
Well, no, because I think I've got pretty close to the same answer, and I wanted to be just a little bit different other than having the exact same one. Flip Washington State and TCU.
Okay, well, that's mine. That was mine as well.
That was yours as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I just the whole unknown of Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
We saw what happened in Wyoming last year, and that probably is weighing into my thought process.
They got a bunch of lumberjacks up there that'll go to the ball game, you know.
Yeah, we know playing at TCU is not a super hard place to play. The Red Raiders have played well there for the most part.
Can you and I go together to that game? Can we ride together?
No, we cannot.
Okay.
I'd say as an outside number 5, if all the stars aligned, would be Colorado.
I'm nervous about Colorado.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Red Raider fans feel like that's a gimme one. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's ask a different question then.
Okay.
Of the home games, which one's scary the most? Chuck's going to say North Texas. I know he is.
Well, I mean, we've all been a little jaded there, okay, over the years. It kind of makes you wonder why the hell we're even scheduling them, okay? It's like, what?
Because we're way more talented and we should beat them.
I know, but I mean, there's just history tells you that it's, you know, Emo's going to come in here wanting to light it up too. He finally get to call plays in Jones Stadium.
I think there was a time where he was calling them here.
You do.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
I do. I think his head coach was pressured into it. I think
His last year?
I think he was protecting him by not saying anything.
Okay.
But I think it got not significantly, but it was not as good. And I think Kingsbury was protecting him.
Okay. And maybe that's why he left to go, when he left to go to Incarnate Word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the games that concern me here at home. Man, I think West Virginia concerns me. I think that and Colorado would concern me. So if you're gonna make me pick one, and then Baylor, but the way that we played Baylor last year and then the previous year here.
What about Baylor? Has you scared?
Well,
now?
I was going to say nothing.
That's a program. It feels like it is heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah. So I'm going to say West Virginia. I'm going to say West Virginia. We have 2 former aides to Tech football coaches that are coming in here. 3. Well, 2 that are coming here. You know, with North Texas and West Virginia.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. For the home games, probably the 2 new ones with Arizona State and Colorado. I'm not nervous about West Virginia. I'm chalking up last year's West Virginia as a fluke. Like, as an absolute, just everything went wrong, fluke. And
I don't call it a fluke. I call it you were bad.
Well,
it was 100% on you. It wasn't on West Virginia being great. It was on you being terrible.
That's not what I expect from a Joey McGuire coach team, with regards to a fluke. But if Colorado can go into the transfer portal on the other side and do kind of what they did last year and bring in a bunch of new guys, and their recruiting continues to be as good as it is, I could see them being a challenge. And, you know, the unknown of Arizona State would be the number 2 in that list for the home games next season.
I'm with Chuck in thinking it's West Virginia and Colorado. I do think West Virginia will be a better football team than they were a season ago. They bring their quarterback back. Their starter is solid. Remember, he didn't play against us. The guy that was terrible played against us, and we still lost. Okay? Not because he lit us up. What did we score, 13 in that game? 17? I don't know, whatever. It was 100% on our offense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's hard for me to, if I have to pick one or the other there. I think I'm going with West Virginia, but I'm so intrigued by Colorado. I mean, they were fun last year. They were a great story at the beginning of the season. And then it went south for them badly. But at the same time, they lost some games tight, some close games that they could have won that would have made that feel differently. So I don't know what you guys have you seen the recruiting rankings for Colorado? Are they super high or whatever? I just don't know what that program is going to become. And I don't know if all the momentum that they had early on in the season, whether it was killed at the end of the season or, everybody hopped on board and said, yeah, we're all in. I mean, even
you said coaches bailed too.
Yeah, even the Colorado fan base, I mean, they feel like it's heading in the right direction. Are they certain they have the right guy? I mean, I'm just intrigued by it. Deion's been good for college football in that he's brought an interest.
Especially to the Colorado program.
Even if you're not a fan, you're like interested in see what's going to happen. So, and I'm kind of like some of the comments that Deion has made about college football or whatever. I appreciate the fact that he's not afraid to give his opinion on things. It doesn't feel like he's a cookie cutter coach that just stays in his lane all the time, so to speak. So I appreciate that. So
I also want to put him on my worried list because I don't want my name in his receipts.
In his receipts.
He always keeps the receipts of the people saying bad things about Colorado.
Do you keep receipts?
No.
I don't either. I mean,
most of my receipts don't make it out of the store.
Do I keep it? I mean,
these guys that talking about they keep receipts of people that have said things about them or done things to them or things like that. I might hold grudges.
Yeah.
I don't call
what's
it.
the difference?
I think that
his wording
is the wording, but I also think the guys that keep receipts are the ones that when they say, "Oh, I'm keeping receipts," that they're the ones that are the quickest to try to cash in on those receipts, whereas the ones that hold grudges.
Chuck Heinz absolutely kept receipts on Nebraska football.
I held a grudge. Yeah, I held a grudge.
Specifically, Tom Osborne.
I did, and still
so that he could cash those receipts in when Tech beat them 70-10.
I don't. I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I'm finding it hard to understand what the difference is between holding a grudge and keeping receipts.
Well, not a thing.
To me, there's not specifically.
Yeah.
But
and yes, I do both.
But I think the keeping of receipts, I think those guys are a little more flamboyant about it too.
Yeah.
I think they cash in their receipts quite sooner. I think the people that hold grudges, and I've got some grudges that I still hold to this day. Those are never totally cashed in.
Yeah.
It's always a grudge.
Fool me once,
Right. I'm with you.
That's
then why
on
are we
you.
still
Second
here?
time, just I don't. I'm not really huge on second chances.
Yeah, I understand. 7:40 this morning on the morning drive. Boom, boom, boom is next.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, good morning. It is the Morning Drive, hour 3 of 3 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you this morning from the First United Bank studio. Look forward to hearing from you today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line and the Visual Edge IT hotline. And it is a Basketball Friday presented by Abundance Energy.
Since it's a Basketball Friday, can I ask a basketball question?
Absolutely.
Okay, this one's out there, and I hope there's some basketball officials out there listening.
Oh, man.
Okay, so did you guys, by any chance, happen to see Wemby's alley-oop dunk to himself last night?
I have not.
Victor Wembanyama or whatever.
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama. I think
okay,
that's pretty
so he's
close
like
to
at the right elbow, and he's double-teamed, and he just flips the ball up towards the backboard.
Okay.
Goes off the backboard, not the rim. And before the ball lands, he just jumps towards it and dunks it. So he alley-ooped himself.
Okay.
Okay. I saw a game in the Caprock Classic where a player shot an air ball on a three-point shot, ran, got it, and saved it in. Okay? I saw the same exact thing on Tuesday night in my daughter's game. When did we start allowing you to pass to yourself? How is that not catching your own pass, a.k.a. double dribble?
Okay, so
It used to be you had to, hit the rim with a shot, right? Before you could get it?
No, I think you
and
could
now
always
you can shoot an air ball and go get it? Well, then couldn't you say if I accidentally picked up my dribble in the backcourt, couldn't I just toss it high a little bit and then run over there and get it?
I think you could.
That's double dribble. That's a travel. There's no way.
Well, if you're taking the shot
and you shoot an air ball, somebody's got to touch it before you do.
that seems to make sense. But
right?
you could
off the backboard. I can kind of get
off the backboard. I've seen that before.
Okay.
You know, where you literally kind of pass it to yourself, so to speak. It's what you're doing, right?
Okay.
But what you're talking about is
if somebody shoots an air ball and
sense.
they run and get it, that's like a double dribble, travel. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wondered why we just stopped calling that.
A couple people said, one, Jamie, that's bad officiating. Two, the air ball should have been called a walk. That was incorrect. If it hits the rim or backboard, that is allowed.
So off the backboard counts as it hitting the rim.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, but the other instance of shooting an air ball, that should not be allowed.
I don't think so.
Was this a varsity game or a JV game?
One was a varsity, one was a JV.
Well, we know the JV answer.
I don't know how you can catch and shoot your own, you can shoot and then go get your own shot.
Yeah.
That doesn't touch anybody else or the rim or backboard.
Yeah, because if that were the case, then kids would be doing that all the time to throw it across, especially if they get trapped in the backcourt, throw it across the half court.
We just could call it a shot.
Yeah, it's called
a little shot and then run over and get it. Then I can start dribbling again.
Yeah.
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 It's the same thing.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. We'll have high school hoops on the air for you tonight. The Liberty Cooper Patriots will take on Abernathy tonight from the Lopes Home Gym. All right, that'll be at 6:30 on 93.1 Texas FM, and then the boys will follow. The Liberty Cooper Patriot boys will follow at 7:30ish or so from Abernathy. That'll be that matchup tonight, and then the Friendship girls, travel permitting, will go to San Angelo and play tonight in a single game for the girls. We'll have it for you on Double T 97.3 at 6 tonight.
Don't say that, Chuck.
Travel permitting?
Don't say travel permitting. They're playing.
Okay.
It's going to be above freezing any minute now.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, it's above freezing
any
now.
Ideas.
Right now, it's above freezing. It's 33.
It
Freezing's 32.
It should be.
Yeah.
It just needs to get to like 34, 35.
Yeah.
That's what we needed to have happen.
And yes, I appreciate when school districts care about the welfare of their children.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
You just feel like it's good enough today. It's okay today.
Yeah, I just would be disappointed when we miss games. So there has to be a happy medium there, right?
Right. And then we'll have number one team in the country, Purdue, taking on Illinois tonight at the Boilermakers home court. That'll be at 7:15. I wonder if Gene Katie will make an appearance tonight. I miss Gene Katie's. He's gotten older. He's become more friendly. But Gene Katie back in the day, when he wore that tan suit and had that hair slicked back and had that bulldog face on, man, it was fun seeing him get riled up over there on the sideline. He was he could never get over the hump. He was one of those coaches that could just never get over the hump, kind of like Norm Stewart at Missouri. You know, his next Final Four will be his first. So, just couldn't get over.
So much hate for your home state.
Yeah. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Just got sideways on Indiana Avenue. Careful out there, folks. Yes, still kind of keep that in mind. Be careful if you're out and about this morning.
You guys ask the question, and we get the guy who can answer the question on the phone.
All right, so we go to the Visual Edge IT hotline, and we have a caller. Good morning, caller.
It's the official.
How are you?
I know. I was kind of trolling him a little bit. Good. We're doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. Keep in mind, Jeff called me. that if there was a legit shot at the basket and the shooter went and got his own rebound, it would be not a double dribble or a travel. It's a legit shot in the official's judgment. However, if out at half court they did the same thing, just threw it up in the air after they picked up their dribble, that would be a walk.
So judgment call by the officials. Yeah, I hate to tell you this.
A legit shot.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you, Chris, but the guy that hates officials the most beat you to the punch, and he just texted me the same thing.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, that's Chris Sneed. You'll hear him at noon today on 100.7 The Score as part
Thanks,
of the
Chris.
Bottom Line. Thank you, Chris.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.